Howdy there YouTube, this is T Walker aka Tanner. I'm going to do a video for you today, and this video is going to be different in that this video is an explanation. It's an explanation of why I have some of the views that I have, and so it should be very educational if nothing else. Recently, I a couple of comments, people when I've been talking game mechanics, have been of the gist of this. One of them said what I was talking about is bad players, and so the solution, the problems I was talking about in the system were just from bad players. So the solution is to kick those players out, and then you wouldn't have the problem. Another one said that I should stop focusing on game mechanics because that shouldn't ever be the focus of the game, and focus on role-playing. Alright, so I'm going to give you guys a few of my just base premises about role-playing games that I look at as a designer. Not as a GM, not as a player, but as a designer. Because when I am a GM and when I am a player, like I said, I do like to role-play. That is my focus. That is my goal. That is the thing I do. However, let's go through the premises that I have, and like I said, the goal of this is not to get you to agree with me. I don't care if you don't agree with me. I really don't. What I do care about is you understanding at least where I'm coming from. That's it. All I want you to do is understand why I have the views I have. That's it. Simple, easy. All I want you guys to do is understand why I think the way I do. So, let's start off with kind of four main premises I go about when looking at a game, or looking at tabletops in general. The first one is, no matter how much role-playing there is in a game, at some point there is going to come a time where you roll dice, or you use the game's mechanics to find out the outcome of a situation. That's how tabletop RPGs are set up. You know, you use the game mechanics to find the outcome of the situation. So the first premise, no matter how much role-playing there is in a game, at some point you will be using the system's mechanics. Alright. You know, number two, success, or, you know, with those mechanics, when you do use them, it is fun to succeed. It is fun to look cool. I mean, at least some of the time. It is a lot of fun to, you know that you just did something really awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is fun. When you attempt something and you get a success, that does bring about some enjoyment. Now, I'm not saying that that enjoyment is the only enjoyment. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. All I'm saying is that it is fun to do that. It is fun to succeed a lot of the time, to look cool. Alright? So, first two. The third one, this is where it starts to flavor why I look at system mechanics so much. A tabletop RPG should be inclusive and not exclusive. What do I mean by this? I mean that a tabletop RPG should, in its goal, I view, try to include as many people as possible. One of the comments I received was, you know what, just throw the bad players out. You know what, you don't need them. Just kick them out, don't even notice them, let them do whatever they do by themselves. I don't like that. In fact, you know what, that's totally, and I know why you would do it. I know it works. It, makes the players you have focus on role-playing. You kick out the ones that don't. I personally don't like that. Not at all. Not even a little bit. I can understand why you would have that view. Personally, I do not share that view, nor do I ever plan to share that view. I want the game to be as inclusive as possible, to bring in as many players into our hobby and expand it and make it more powerful as humanly possible. Alright? Even the bad ones. I want them, if they enjoy playing, I think that they should play and should be able to play. So, let's get with the fourth presumption. The third was that I want this game to be inclusive, right? The fourth is role-playing should be the focus of a tabletop role-playing game. Role-playing should be the focus. Now, a lot of my ideas, and especially why I talk about system mechanics so much, is because a lot of interplay comes between the last two elements that I just described to you, being that roleplay should be the focus and the game should be inclusive. Because when you get players that like to game, they are going to be looking to make the best build, not a cool character. I view this as a problem with the system, because you can't fix people so easily. It's very difficult. And you guys know it's true. You have some stubborn people. However, you can change mechanics. It's an easy... I mean, yes, it takes some work sometimes it's not so easy, but you can do it. Because mechanics are not people, and they are more easily changed. So, why do I focus on mechanics a lot of the time? Because role-playing should be the focus. As a designer, my job is to make, I view at least, my job is to make the mechanics balanced. So when a player, even a bad one, even one who's trying to game the system, comes into a situation and looks at the gaming mechanics and tries to make the best build, he can't. He cannot make a better character because of the way I've designed the game. Now what this does is it forces him to play for another reason. He can't make the best. He's going to make what he likes. Because everyone has a preferred, image, a preferred fantasy. However, gaming people come in and there's an initial frustration at their fantasy is actually not what is, best, what has the most capability or potential in the game. Now, you call these players trash, and you say throw them out. I do not. I do not want to throw them out, nor will I ever want to throw them out. I want to include them. However, changing system mechanics is a great way to get them to stop focusing on mechanics as a designer, because when the system mechanics, no matter what you do, will give you a character with equal potential to any other character created, this takes away the gaming aspect from the game. Bad players are no longer allowed to game the system because of the core rules in the mechanics, and thus their focus shifts from trying to game the system to actually playing what they want to play within that system. Changing system mechanics can increase role-playing tenfold. But remember, this is all with the view that I want this game, this tabletop role-playing game, to be as inclusive as possible. However, in order to do that, and with the assumption that people are harder than change the mechanics, a lot of the ways that you can start on this, at least to start, and switch the focus from mechanics to role-playing is by changing the mechanics and making those mechanics balanced. Because when a gamist goes in and he realizes no matter what he does, he's going to have the same power level, he's going to stop worrying about power level. No one's going to worry about power level, or no one's going to fret over it, try to build something better when they can't. When the system mechanics takes that away from them. They are forced, then, to play what they want to play. They are forced to dive into their fantasy and play the character that they actually want to play, not the one that is best, because there is no best. And it's not to say that the characters are all the same, just equally viable. Anyway, remember, the goal of this video is just to kind of explain to you why I hold the views I do, why I focus on mechanics a lot of the time. And a lot of it is because I want this game to be inclusive. I don't want to have to exclude players. Anyway, this has been T Walker, aka Tanner, and I am signing off.